Hey guys, it's patch 3.21 Crucible, and I wanted to highlight a new interaction that is available only this season that our group has been abusing for the past few days to make my character extremely tanky to anything that isn't a direct one-shot. As you can see, I'm standing here in a tier 10 map with a few mobs attacking me, effectively not doing anything to my health pool. You might be looking at my health and be saying, Ali, you're almost going to die. Your petrified blood pool is almost filled up. No, I am not. This whole graphic is pointless. And all these monsters are effectively hitting me for 0 damage. None of them can kill me ever, even if I AFK'd here for 10 straight hours. So how is this working? Well, we are being stunned by every single attack these sea witches are doing to us, which is causing us to regenerate and recoup a lot of life every time they attack us, basically completely outweighing any damage they do and making it so anything that doesn't directly instantaneously kill me from full health is immediately fully healed and completely ignored as a hit. This is being achieved through the new jewel Bloodnotch. At max roll, it does 60% of damage taken from stunning hits recovered as life. And when this is paired with petrified blood, this makes it so effectively every single hit is ignored. Petrified blood makes it so 40% of damage taken from hits is just straight up ignored. And then 75% of that is then taken over 4 seconds. Well, with a 2120 petrified blood, with a near max rolled Bloodnotch, you really do not want anything below 58. I have tried 57, I've tried 56. It does not feel good. It has to be 58 or higher and ideally 60%. But with that, with a recuperate node, we are picking up vampirism, but there are recuperate nodes all over the tree. You can always pick up infused flesh, or you can always pick up circle of life. But with a recoup node and with Bloodnotch, and specifically a 2120 petrified blood, I can ignore every single hit against me that is not a one shot. Now, I would showcase this in a higher tier map, but unfortunately, the only character I have for this season is a Spark carry with an Aura bot, and my defenses without my Aura bot here are paper. I have no armor, I have no evasion rating, I have no block, anything. I just have a few resistances. But if you put this into a typical petrified blood build that had decent resistances, decent armor, evasion rating, spell suppression, and so on and so forth, actual defensive layers, you would be able to do exactly what I'm doing in a tier 16 map, and it would be just as good. It's just, I unfortunately cannot showcase this season, and I cannot get this jewel on standard to show this to you on a proper character. So let's look into this a little bit further in Path of Building. As I mentioned, you are going to need Bloodnotch to be able to recover all this, but unfortunately, with Bloodnotch, we do have a downside. We have to take a stunning hit. Now, how do we make it so every single attack against us is a stunning hit? Well, if we set our energy shield to 0, like I have in game, then we can then take the mastery that makes it so our stun threshold is based on 60% of our energy shield instead of life. This then makes it so that if we are at 0 ES, we will effectively always get stunned by every single attack against us, so we can always benefit from the recovery. If we pair that with a Immaculate Force, which can roll up to 1000% increased stun and block recovery, that effectively makes it so while, yes, I'm being stunned right now, can you actually notice I'm being stunned? No, you cannot. Immaculate Force makes every single stun against you so minuscule that you effectively are stun immune. You do not notice the stuns at all. So with all this, we have the whole package. We just need Bloodnotch, we need Immaculate Force, and we need to pick up stun threshold is based on 60% of your ES instead of life. Now, how do we make our ES 0? We have 2 options for that. One, we can pick up a Glorious Vanity with a Huna, and what this does is it makes it so our energy shield starts at 0. We cannot recharge or regenerate ES. We lose 5% of our ES per second, but our life leech effects become ES effects when our life is full. As long as you don't have too much leech, the energy shield degen from Immortal Ambition should completely nullify the leech as long as you don't have too much of it. Or if this does not work in your build, if you have too much leech, what you can instead do is you can run Gluttony, which makes it so you have no armor or maximum energy shield. Downside here being you have to run this belt, which is a okay-ish belt, and you have no armor. So if armor is a core defensive feature for your build, then unfortunately this might not really work. But those are the 2 ways to enable 0 ES. Other than that, you could potentially have no ES on any of your gear anywhere, but that's not as consistent as either Immortal Ambition or Gluttony. That is not everything for this. We can actually push this even further. While having effectively a way to be immortal to all non one shots is great, there is more we can add to this to make this package even stronger. One, we can pick up the new caster mastery, 25% more spell damage if you've been stunned while casting recently. Well, since we are being stunned on every single hit that is done against us, that means we have a 25% more damage multiplier permanently, assuming we always get hit, which typically is pretty true. You get hit pretty often. We can also pick up the new stun wheel and a stun mastery, which gives us immunity to crits if we've been stunned recently. So this gives us a way to be crit immune. This gives us a way to gain a lot of free spell damage. And there is one more note over here. Regenerate 5% of life over 1 second when stunned. We don't really need this since we are effectively dealing with all hits, but this build doesn't do anything for damage over time. Damage over time will still completely go through this method of staying alive as it's based on hits. But if we have the 5% of life per second when stunned, this for the most part will take care of most of your dot degen problems. If you pair this with just a little bit of extra regen in your build, you are effectively good to go for all damage types. In terms of putting this together, all you need to do is you just need to run Petrified Blood already in your build, and you need to buy Bloodnotch. Everything else here is either just passive tree related or super cheap. Currently, Bloodnotch is going for around 1 to 2 div for a non-max world one. I think 3 to 4 div for a max world one. I very much expect this to rise in price pretty heavily, especially due to me showcasing this on my stream, me talking about this in a previous video, and other people being made aware of how strong this mechanism of staying alive is. So if you're interested in it, I would potentially maybe buy one early. And if it doesn't work in your build, you can always sell it and flip it, or just sell it at whatever you bought it from. That's all I really have for this video. If this is something that interests you, I hope this helps you make your build tankier. If not, I appreciate you being here and watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day.